Welcome, guys. Right here, we are sipping on a nice little ginseng tea to get our video started off here. And yes, we are actually gonna watch Onama versus Garcia. I know. We've come to this point. UFC has been pretty good to us this year, but there is gonna be a few of these this week. We do have some good matchups. We're here for the long run, really trying to see these prospects rise in the rankings, and I'm hoping we get to see some good matches. So UFC Fight Night, let's see where this is at. This is at the Apex in Las Vegas, Nevada. We have to think here with these Apex cards, the ring is a lot smaller than the regular cage, so just let's keep that in mind, especially with strikers who are in the pocket, and there's not a lot of room to be dancing around, going side to side. We're gonna start off with our first fight. We have Talita Alencar versus Irene Carnelosi. Is she Italian? No, she's from Brazil. I would say that Talita is the most active here out of the two. So I'm going to give her getting the dub for this fight. It's the first fight of the card. Not a lot of people tune in person. I don't know how many people are going to tune into this fight online. But our pick for this fight is going to be Talita Alencar. That is my pick. Decision. Let's move. Now, this one I am very excited for. Okay, we have Phil Rowe versus Seok Haeon Koa. I really want to work on the names here. The Korean Tyson is his name. I could call him that for short. Phil Rowe, we actually had the pleasure to meet him a couple times, one at CJI2, and we just met him at UFC 320. So I got to go with the boy, Phil Rowe. I like his odds here. The Korean Tyson has been on a 5-fight win streak, maybe even more. The last 5, he's won all 5, and they have been knockout after knockout after knockout. So, he did well in this Dana White Contender Series. He has a good game. His background is in Sambo as well. Been watching some highlights, been watching some film. Phil Rowe does have the height advantage here, and he has, I would say, the more experience in the cage. I believe this is his 8th fight in the UFC. He's 6'3", the Korean Tyson 5'10". I think the reach is going to play a huge factor in this fight, and I do think that Phil Rowe can end this fight inside 3 rounds. I'm going to go with the 3rd round TKO for Mr. Phil Rowe here. He just has to watch out for the takedowns. Ko has a good double leg that I have seen, but he likes switching it up. It's not just a 1-2. He likes, throwing a lot of stuff out there. He's very well-rounded, and seems like he is the heavy favorite. Ko is a heavy favorite for this one, but I am going with the first underdog pick of the card, Mr. Phil, the Fresh Prince Rowe. Next fight up, we have Montserrat Conejo Ruiz versus Alice Aderlin. Aderlin's from Romania. Conejo Ruiz is from Mexico, trained out of El Paso, Texas. Ruiz, though, has been struggling as of late, has lost the last 3 fights in her career via KO in all 3 of them, which is not giving me very good odds for this fight. I'm going to go with the Romanian Aderlin for this fight. Her losses have been via decision. I just think it's tough, especially if you get knocked out multiple times in a row. There is a lot of potential brain damage there. I don't really see from the numbers here like a huge advantage. They're similar age, similar height, similar reach advantage as well. Ruiz is a 10th Planet member, though, so maybe if the fight goes to the ground, she'll have an upper edge there. But I'm going to go with a Aderlin decision win. Next fight on the card, we have Ketlin Vieira versus Norma Dumont. I'm rolling with Dumont here. She has a lot of momentum going her way. 5 wins in a row, and I do have her winning via submission. Let's go submission in the 2nd round for this one, okay? Next fight up, we have a good one. Dante Johnson versus Cedriques Dumas. Now, every time Dumas gets announced on a fight card, a fight night, it's like, is this fight ever gonna happen? This dude's running from the cops. This dude's getting arrested. He's posting his bank balance saying he's got no money, and then, his last fight ended in kick to the batteries for the boy. So it was a little tough for him. So they're giving him an unranked 6-0 fighter. This potentially could be Dumas's last fight if it does happen. I would say there are better odds that this fight doesn't happen than it does. Like, if you're gonna place a bet on this fight, I would say, I don't think this fight's gonna freaking happen. But one thing to mention, Dante Johnson is coming down a weight class for this one. His last fight was at heavyweight. We got to make sure Johnson makes weight, and we got to see if Dumas is going to be able to make it to the fight. I got Johnson via TKO in the 2nd round. I really hope we see Dumas, especially with his financial situation going on that he's posted online. But We shall see. This one I'm very excited for. Themba Chuamba versus Chang Ho Lee. I'm a big fan of Chang Ho Lee, bro. These Korean fighters, I don't know, something about them. I really like how they carry themselves. Like Ju Sang Yu, I liked it. I know he hit a lot of emotes his last fight. I just mess with the Korean fighters. So I'm rolling with Chang Ho Lee. You know, it sounds like Chang Ho Lee. And, you know, I mess with it. 5 wins in a row. I do think Chang Ho could get this win inside 3. I'm going to go with a second round TKO for Mr. Chang Ho. Now, moving up, we have Kevin Christian versus Billy Elikana. Okay, Billy Elikana lost to Bogdan Guskov via submission around 9 months ago. But both of these guys have been doing very well. Just looking at the records here, and I think I got Billy. Even though, you know, Kevin has been on a little winning spree over here. He's been winning via submission, KO. Over here on this fight, it says retirement, win via retirement. I don't know how that works, but I got Billy Elikana here. He looks like he is very dangerous just based off the topology photo here. But like, this guy Kevin Christian looks like Comethazine. I'm not gonna lie, that rapper Comethazine. This picture that I'm looking at right here, I'll put it right here. It's somewhere right there. He looks just like him, but it is not him. Just letting you guys know. All right, I got Elikana getting the dub via knockout, not TKO, knockout, second round. Okay, like out cold. I think Elikana could do that. Okay, now we have Alan Nascimento versus Cody Durden. Okay, looking at Cody's record is not looking too hot, bro. I'm not gonna lie, it's not looking too hot for him. 2 losses back to back. He got a decision loss against Joshua Van and then Jose Ochoa via TKO. His last win was a ninja choke against Matt Schnell. That was a year ago. And Alan Nascimento has been getting wins via decision, submission, and submission. Okay, a couple submission wins and decision. I got Nascimento. It feels like a no-brainer to me. Seems like, you know, some of these matchmakers, maybe they just like, you're like, oh, just give him to the Wolves. We'll see what happens. But it's not looking good for Mr. Cody here. He does really need a win fairly pretty bad. And the odds are pretty even as well. So maybe if you're placing a better, so it's probably good to go a little heavy on Nascimento here. Not betting advice by any means. I don't give out any financial advice, any betting advice. Just letting you guys know, I just give my picks of what I think is going to happen. And that's it. That is all. So next fight up, we have Charles Radtke versus Daniel Frunza. Now, Frunza was in a freaking war with Rhys McKee. Rhys McKee kind of looks, he was coming out of Ireland. His record wasn't that good, but he has a ton of heart. So when we saw that fight with Daniel, it was looking very scary. I think he had like a huge cut on his lip. It was, from what I remember, it was a war. He won 4 in a row before that. I do think he bounces back against Charles Radtke here. Radtke coming off a loss. He just fought 5 months ago against Mike Maylott. It was a TKO loss. So I would say I'm going Daniel here. I'm very curious to see how that lip is doing though. I do think that might play a factor if that opens up again. It was very nasty. I'm not going to lie. A lot of people are going Radtke here for this fight, but I feel like Daniel Frunza is able to get a decision win here at the end of the day in the Apex 3 rounds. I like that. I like that as our pick here. Now to the main card, we have 4 fights left. Hope you guys have been staying tuned throughout this video. We're going to get to the main event soon. Right now, we have Isaac Dolgaren versus Yadir Del Valle. Okay, coming out of Cuba, Del Valle. I like Del Valle in this pick. Both of these guys have been doing very well as of late. Del Valle, out of his last 5, has won his last 5. The only loss for Isaac has been a split decision against Christian Rodriguez, who is a very respectable opponent. But like I said, I'm going Del Valle via submission here. I'm gonna go with the first round submission, very fast. I feel like he's just gonna jump on his back and get like a rear naked choke or something like that. All right, moving up the card, we have Jeremiah Wells versus Themba Gorimbo. Themba was choked out last year against Vicente Luque via Darce choke. A lot of hype. I think Dwayne Johnson was like providing some funds to help him out with his training camp. I have no idea how that's going right now. Both of these guys are really kind of unks fighting right here, and I got Themba getting the win. I'm not super confident with this. Jeremiah Wells has been coming off of back-to-back losses. He got submitted and lost via a split decision. Themba is a slight favorite here, but I do see Themba kind of duking it out, showing a lot of heart during this fight. I really hope he has worked a lot on his submission defense, though. That is my only worry. But I got Themba Gorimbo win via TKO in the 3rd round. I would say decision, but I do think Themba is going to be a little hungry after that last loss. You know what I mean? I think he's got a little chip on his shoulder. All right, next fight up, Waldo Cortes Acosta versus Ante Delija. Okay, both of these guys are big dudes. I'm not going to lie. Odds are fairly even based on what I'm seeing right here. Favorite is Delija. Let's find out why. He has had back-to-back KOs. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Waldo Cortes Acosta fought 2 months ago, so I think that's a quick comeback. Maybe a little too quick. He did lose via decision here, so I'm assuming he's gonna want to get his get back here. So I want to think about this for a little bit. Okay, I think this is the one Tom Aspinall has been talking about, where it's like, oh, if Delija steps up and he starts doing well, that he doesn't want to fight Tom Aspinall. So Tom is speaking very highly of him. I'm gonna go Delija then with a KO here in the 2nd round. In the 2nd round, going Delija, beating the Salsa Boy, that's his nickname, Waldo Cortes Acosta. All right, now to the main event, Steve Garcia versus David Onama. Steve Garcia has fought some very, very respectable opponents here. Melquisa Acosta with the win. He has also beaten Kyle Nelson and Calvin Kattar. Calvin Kattar has been struggling, though. I'm not going to lie. But I would say Steve Garcia he has the most experience out of the two over here. David Onama, have been watching his fights as well. Shows a lot of heart. You know, he could be put in some dangerous positions and somehow make it through. Steve Garcia also known to make a few mistakes during the fight. I believe the last fight he had, he fell on the mat right away and it was pushed against the cage and he almost had his back taken. But I'm gonna go Steve Garcia here. I feel like he has really good hands, really good boxing, able to switch it up, not just with the 1-2, maybe like a da 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 da. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go Steve Garcia, the mean machine for this fight, win via TKO in the 2nd round. Okay, main event, Onama versus Garcia. Honestly, the fight I'm really excited for is Phil Rowe versus Cole. That is my pick of the week. My underdog pick of this episode is Phil Rowe getting the dub. Hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned. I know it's gonna be a rough few weeks, but once we go to Madison Square Garden, boy, it is gonna get really good. It's gonna get really good. Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena. And those are some great fights on that card as well. 2 championship fights. And just stay tuned. We're going to keep these pumping out every UFC card. And stay tuned. Stay tuned. Hope you guys enjoy. We out. Peace.